So I want you to think about for a minute coming to the edge. What does it bring up for you? I know I'm afraid of heights. So coming to the edge can be pretty scary. Thank goodness this morning we're not talking about the physical edge. We're talking about the edge of consciousness. Something that we can work on no matter where we are, anytime, anywhere. That edge of the physical and the spiritual. The edge of judgment and acceptance. The edge of fear and faith. And hatred and love. We have to really be monitoring ourselves to see where we stand, because our consciousness, where we are, makes a difference. We're part of the whole collective consciousness of the world, and never doubt that a small group of very conscious, awakened people can move that awareness upward to a greater expression in life. We need to really think. We're on this journey of self-discovery, each one of us. It's an individual journey, of course, because nobody can change us but us. But this journey of self-discovery is truly a journey about discovering God, the God consciousness in us. How awake do we choose to be? There's some easy tests to see how awake we are, but we'll get there in a minute. We don't always see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. We get bound up in our own thought world. And we see the world as defined by the thoughts we think, what we believe is true. And we can look and, that really kind of makes me ill. Kirk, I'm afraid of heights. I'm weak in the knees. But anyway, now I can't even remember what I was talking about, but our journey is about really being conscious of, am I really living there, holding the wholeness, the allness of life in this journey? Or am I so bound up and tightened up by my thought world, what I think about life, that I'm not into the experience of what is? If we look at that first picture we had up there, where the beautiful horizon, where the sky and the earth meet, we can go, oh, isn't that sweet? That's where the sky and the earth meet. But that's not true. The sky and the earth meet everywhere. Everywhere. We're all immersed in sky. Everywhere. But we get confused and we put limitations on life. There's so many variations of sounds and colors and things that we can't even be aware of, because they vibrate at such a different level than we are. And we're not there yet, but we're in the process of awakening. So today I really want us to think about, where is our thought consciousness right now? What is our concept of reality? Many of us hold very limited concepts of what we can do and what the world can do. When we say creating a world that works for everyone, we say, oh, right, we could do that. Well, the answer is yes, because our evolution is about awakening to what already is. And Jesus said, you, all of us, meaning each and every one of us, are in the midst of peace right now. It's not somewhere we have to go. It's not something we have to create. We are there right now. Lay aside your confusion. And where's that? That's up here. We create confusion in our mind instead of opening up to the possibilities or what can be. We get all wound up in our own thinking. Have you been there in the last 5 minutes? In the last 2 minutes? We do that. We get all wound up. He says, peace is already here. It was here all the time. It's here all the time. Peace, love, joy. I love in the song, Rise Up, even in the ache, I will rise up. Because I think this journey of awakening is about learning to hold the fear, the anger, the ache, and be able to know and feel the joy and the love and the peace that you might not be experiencing in the moment, but is possible, and making the space for it. That's what our journey is all about, opening to all these possibilities. But we have to be aware right now of what are the thoughts that are limiting us from being fully open. Because we can't experience peace unless we recognize it's already there. We have to recognize it's there and then accept it. And that's what Jesus was saying. We have to recognize it and accept it, and then we can feel it and know it. So I'm asking, what are the limitations of not enoughness, of fear, of doubt, of judgment, of lack, whatever it is, that are blocking you from being open to what's already there? It's already there. Everything we're seeking is already there. We just have to open. It may not look like our thoughts want it to be, but the feeling of it is there. You see, there's a doorway in everyone's consciousness between our humanity and our divinity, our humanness and our spirituality. It's there. Now, we can close the door. We can open it a little bit. If our door is closed, we're only thinking human thoughts, and those can be very limited. They can be very mean at times. They can be very hurtful to ourselves and other people. But if we open that doorway, remember it was Rumi, my buddy Rumi from the 13th century, who said, the door is wide and open. People are crossing between the doorsill, between the two worlds, the door, that threshold, going back and forth because the door is wide and open. When we get to that place of being open, and I think when I said you can tell how you are in your consciousness, if we're combative, if we're judgmental, if we're doubting, then we have our door, if not all the way shut, partially shut. The easiest way for us, all of us, to get into an open space of receptivity for the goodness, the possibility that's already there, is to put aside our thoughts of dualism. Do you know the power of oneness? When we really realize that it's not me and God, it's me in God. Because God, that spirit, love, creative intelligence, whatever you want to call it, is already there. We're already in it. We just have to open to it, recognize it, accept it, and open to it. That's what we're called to do. That's what this journey of evolution is all about for you and me. We have to awaken to it. Beyond the ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. Now I want you to imagine this is the edge. Here's the right doing and wrong doing consciousness, and then there's this field that's over the edge on the other side. Beyond this consciousness of judgment, beyond that which we all experience, there is a field. That field is oneness. When the soul, which is us, lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase, each other, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense when we really lie down in that grass. We have to give up our wanting to fight against the world or fight against each other, but to be open to that channel. When we open the door, that's where inspired ideas flow in. The bigger ideas. We can get ideas if our door's closed a bit, but if we want those big ideas, we've got to fling that door in our mind, that threshold here, open. Let me tell you something that we learn. They said logic and reason will only get you so far. Our intellect can get us to that doorway. But if we're going to cross over into this bigger consciousness, it's not our mind that's going to get us there. That's what we talk about a lot. Every Sunday we talk about the feeling nature of life. It's going to be, we can see something that's beautiful, right? You can look at something that's beautiful and go, oh, that's beautiful. But beauty is only something we can feel. It's something we feel. We can see something that's lovely and go, oh, that's lovely. But love is only felt through experience. We have to be open to the spirit, to our heart, to what something more wants to be revealed. So where is your door, that little threshold in your mind between your heart and your mind and the allness of spirit? We have to decide where we are, and only we can let go of the limiting thoughts and feelings. We have to have courage. We have to have courage. What really inspired this talk was a little poem that I read so long ago. I'm sure most of you have heard it. Come to the edge, he said. We can't, we'll fall. Come to the edge, he said. Oh no, it's too high. Come to the edge. They came, he pushed, they flew. It's about knowing we're not doing this. Yes, it's only us that can open the door, but we're not alone. We talk about, we take one step towards God, towards love, towards goodness, towards peace, and it comes flowing to us. We have the free will that we can keep our door open or closed, but we have to take that step to open up to something more. Are you ready to experience a bigger, what is it in your life you want? Do you want peace? Is it confusion that makes you tired? Is it feeling like you have to try so hard at everything? I mean, this transition right now between the isolation and being back in the world, does anybody else find it a little difficult? It's a hard thing for us to do, to regulate ourselves. How are we doing so far? And boy, you go out and it's so crowded. Why doesn't everybody just stay home? No, I don't mean that, just kidding. You know, it's a hard thing to do and to know because it's different right now. And how do we regulate ourselves in this world? What is it that you really want right now? Because remember what Rumi said in that poem is you have to ask for what you really want, but it's not necessarily physical things. What is it, the feeling you want in your life right now? Because only you and I can attain that for ourselves. We can do things, yes, but if we want the feeling of life, so we change, so we grow beyond that edge of being the physical world that contains us to knowing we're so much more. We have to open into that understanding. So I want you to really think about today, here I am at the edge of all those things I talked about, and what's going to open me to something more. Now, when we come up, we're going to do our prayer wall this Sunday, which is when our practitioners come up. I don't think we'll hold hands this Sunday. Just as we ease in, back in, we'll just come up and stand in front of our ministers and practitioners. I want you just to say, I'm willing to release my ideas of limitation, my thoughts of negativity. I'm willing to let go of my anger at so-and-so. I'm willing to, whatever it is that you can do that frees you, because today is about freeing up to something more. It's not enough to come to the edge. That's the first step, to recognize there is an edge. But we've got to do the work. We've got to do the spiritual practice. We've got to take that leap and spread our wings. So I'm going to invite our ministers and practitioners to spread out here in front of the stage for us today. Please release your prayer into the mind of God, the infinite mind of the oneness that is always present in its entirety, knowing that truly God is all there is, and feeling that presence as it surrounds us and fills us in this and every moment. We just release our prayers, our thoughts, knowing that we are one with this power that we call God. We are one with this consciousness that is affirmative, that is loving, that is kind, that is always for us and never against us and only knows to say yes. We feel that now as we release this request, our knowing the truth that we see for ourselves and for our world and for those we love and those that we want to know the best for. We release our prayer into this mind of God. With our hearts open, our minds and hearts filled with faith and knowing that as we stand in the power of one, as our consciousness expands, we are more powerful than we can even imagine. There is something greater than we are at work in, through, and as us right here in this minute. And we rise up, we open up, we recognize, accept, and claim goodness, love, peace for ourselves and others right here and right now. And give great thanks for all of you being here this morning, being part of this consciousness, this change. I thank all of our practitioners and ministers for stepping up, for stepping over the edge and into that essence of spirit and supporting us. You know how much I love you all, how much I love our InSpirit community. God bless you. Thank you.